내 음악이 왜 이렇게 살벌하냐? 무서운 게임 아니라 그랬는데 분명히. 자, 오늘 할 게임은 탱글 타워고요. 설정에 명을 좀 맞출까요? 좋습니다. 공포는 아닐 거예요. 시작. 오. 자, 한번 해볼까요? 이렇게 하면 되나? 오후 중반? 아, 이게 타워야? 아, 호수 가장자리.
You ready, Sally?
Rimore, I've been standing here for 7.5 minutes.
오,
Just checking.
Do you have the map?
Yeah, but it's basically blank. Did you read the case file? What do you think?
뭐 사건이 일어난 거야?
I'm not sure yet. It's really not a lot to go on.
어,
Did you read it?
안 읽었는데?
Yeah, I'll read it on the way to the crime scene.
살인 피해자 코리아 펠로우 19세 플로라 펠로우의 초상화를 그리는 도중에 사망. 어머 세상에, 19살짜리 애가 죽은 거야? 초상화 모델로 플로라면 58세가 모델로 포즈를 취하고 있었는데 가상? 그림성 주인공은 칼을 들고 있었다고? 세상에. 아, 얘가 죽은 거구나. 종이에 그려진 작은 그림, 뒤에 메모가 있다. 펠로우 가문과 포인터 가문 두 가문이 여기 거주하고 있군요. 이게 다야? 이건 뭔데? 아, 이렇게 확대를 할 수 있구나. 오케이. 오케이. 다 봤어, 친구.
So, who do you think did it?
어떻게 알아 그걸?
Sally, you know full well we haven't met. We haven't even been to the crime scene.
맞아.
Still, I reckon I've got it all worked out.
벌써? 내리면 되나?
It's a path. We're walking.
이거는.
It's a bird bath.
아하.
Is that just rainwater? Looks a little weird.
The birds seem to like it.
They're even singing a little tune. Toot, 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 toot.
Please don't do that.
근데 일단 가야 되지 않을까?
What are they?
Wind chimes. Silent.
Ah.
wooden wind chimes.
소리가 안 나는 나무 풍경.
So, who do you think?
아까 했던 이야기네. 여기 어떻게 내려가지?
That's a big lake.
It's kind of purple. Looks poisonous.
I think it's just water.
Yeah. Water with poison in it.
재밌다.
It's a garden, I think. It's currently far away.
여기서 뭐
We
했다고?
could walk closer to
Ready when you are.
아하, 이렇게 이동하는 거구나. 오케이. 자, 가자. 정원이다. 이쁘다. 이건 뭐야?
It's a stone carving. Wonder how
돌
it got
조각상?
that.
I
왜
think it's
금이
supposed
갔어?
to look
아,
like
원래
that. It's
그렇게?
an egg.
그래? 뭔데?
It's full of the same weird water that was in the lake.
근데 이거 원래 이렇게 되는 거 아닌가?
Not a single one. Although there is something in there.
뭔가
It's
있다고.
a cassette tape.
오!
Or it used to be.
아, 손상된 테이프. 볼 수가 없잖아, 뭐를. 할 수 있는 게 없는데?
It's a statue of some
Playing a harp.
playing a harp. Hang on a second.
자세히 보자. 어떤 건지. 어?
This isn't just a regular statue, is it?
그러게?
Something tells me we're not gonna solve this just yet.
아직?
Let's come back later. It must do something.
You'd
동의합니다.
hope so, wouldn't you?
기호가 새겨져 있고 풀 수 있다. 오케이, 확인. 아니, 관찰을 꼼꼼히 해야 되는군요.
Spooky. What do you think it's for?
I think it's to scare away detectives.
Is it working?
No,
문 아니야, 이건?
Spooky. What do you think it's for?
I think it's to scare
Is it
away.
아니네.
working?
No.
병원엔 뭐
It's a
증거 없니?
bandstand.
아,
It's
연주
all for a
무대.
bandstand.
It's a one-man bandstand.
이건 뭐야?
What animal is?
Hawk, bear, lizard.
Right, of course. A hawk bear lizard.
둘이 친한 사이
It's
맞아?
quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to say,
It's not. It's an appropriate amount of quiet.
증거는 이제 더 이상 없는 것 같죠? 정문. 어? 이거 왜 O가 없어?
Oh.
What?
Oh, there's an O on the
아,
floor.
바닥에 있구나.
oh yeah, Tangle tour.
Twir. Oh.
What?
Oh,
Oh yeah, Tangle tour.
탱글 투어.
twir.
Should we ring the doorbell?
Why would we not? It's a little melody.
이거 이상한데?
Do you
R?
think he'll start to move if we try to go inside?
No, I think he'll just silently.
That leads back to the gardens.
Little bird feeders.
How do you know they're for birds?
이 편지 같은 것 같은데?
It's been opened. Let's read it.
Isn't that an
Oh,
invasion?
definitely.
증거 발견. 봉투가 뜯겨 있다. 안에는 작은 조이가 들어있다. 조합을 외운 뒤에는 이 종이를 없애십시오. 당신의 사고에는 종이할 수 없습니다. 뭔 소리야? 확대를 해도 딱히 볼 수 있는 건 없네요.
A path leading towards the stone square.
일단 여기
Let's head to the
밑에부터
crime scene first.
아,
It's at the top of the west tower, I think.
오케이. 치킨 들어갈게. 와우. 집은 되게 이쁘다. 이 두 관문이 이렇게 갈라지는 거구나. 입구까지 같이 들어간 다음에.
A big letter F.
Of course. Who doesn't hang a giant banner of their initial in the lobby of their mansion? This one has a big P.
That's P.
How very P-ceptive.
What is that?
뭔가 발견한
Maybe
건가?
It's a family tree.
와. 이거 펠로우 가문이랑 레밍턴 가문이랑 포인터 가문 3개가 있는 거 아니야, 결국엔?
Flint fellow.
A purebred fellow, if there ever was one. Married a randomer, though.
Do you think he still lives here?
그러면 지금 쭉 내려와서 요렇게가 마지막이라는 소리 아니야? 그래야
Fellow.
The murder victim.
죽은 애잖아.
She's barely related to the main family at all.
보자. 이거 순수하게 세레나 스톤탑. 순수한 펠로우 가문이라고 보기엔 조금 요렇게 결혼해서 펠리시아 펠로우가 태어났고 다미안 더스크가 태어나서 요렇게까지. 잠깐만 있어봐봐. 근데 이 사람은 왜 결혼 2번 한 건가?
Looks like he was married.
맞네.
Scandal.
그러면은 얘는 되게 반개다, 반개. 요렇게가 직계고. 그럼 얘랑 사이가 안 좋을 수도 있겠는데, 피치펠로우랑.
This fellow half fellow, half Everstone.
Do you think he still lives here?
되게 복잡하다 가문이. 어쨌든 알겠어.
A door,
Oh, what's behind it?
a room.
여기선 더 이상 찾을 게 없을 것 같네요. 보자, 사건이 여기서 일어났으니까 계단을 타고 쭉 올라가 봅시다. 약간 미움을 받을 수도 있는 위치였을 것 같다.
The whole room has a strange feeling about it.
Yeah, there might be a reason for that.
아, 이 사람이
Let's take a look at that
모델이었구나.
painting first. There it is, the unfinished portrait of Flora Fellow.
플로라 펠로우.
So, what? Freya was killed halfway through paint.
Looks that way.
근데 왜 이 사람은 칼을 들고 있지? 아...
I wonder if all of Freya's paintings are this creepy.
글쎄.
Maybe it's just because she never got to finish it.
And there's something wrong with the crime scene. And something really weird about the murder weapon.
맞아, 이상해.
We didn't find a murder weapon.
어떻게 해야 되는 거야? 무엇을 먹을 것이어서? 상한 점이 있다. 대상은 예. 근데 이거 수상한 점이 있다고? 아, 보자. 플로라 펠로우가 칼을 들고 있으면 그 끝에 묻은 건 피. 근데 이거는 포레아가 찔렀기 때문은 아니라고 보는데. 만약에 저렇게 허무하게 자기가 그걸 했다고? 아닐 것 같은데? 이 맞을까? 이렇게 하는 게 맞을까? 자,
Flora
가보자.
Fellow is holding a knife tipped with blood because it stabbed Freya. Almost.
아, 하나만
Just
바꿔보라고?
change one thing.
아, 이거다. 현장에서 사라졌다.
Flora Fellow is holding a knife tipped with blood, but it was removed from the scene. Nope.
아니야? 아, 초상화인가 보다. 초상화에 칼을 들고 있는데 그 끝에 무슨 건 피고 현장에 사라진 거잖아.
Flora's portrait is holding a knife tipped with blood, but it was removed from the scene. Almost.
아, 근접하다고? 잠깐만, 근접하다고? 뭐지? 잠깐만, 근접하다고? 이게 아니었나? 생각을 해보자. 뭘까? 폴로라의 초상화가 칼을 들고 있으며 그 끝에 묻은 건 피였잖아. 훔쳤다?
Flora's portrait is holding a knife tipped with blood, but Freya stole it. Almost.
아, 이게 아니야? 이건 뭔데? 아, 이게 아니구나. 이렇게 할 수 있구나. 이렇게?
Flora's portrait is holding a knife tipped with blood because it stabbed Freya.
What?
Weird, huh?
You think Freya was stabbed by a painting? Not by the woman from the painting, but by the painting itself.
이상하긴 해. 맞아, 이상하긴
Freya
해.
was standing right up by the canvas when she was killed. There's blood on the knife. It's the murder weapon.
Right, but it's not actually a knife. It can't stab.
맞아. 희택님 어서 오세요. 반갑습니다.
See any other knives around here?
근데 그림의 칼로는 사람을 죽일 수가 없지.
Case closed.
The case is not closed. And even if you were right, where does that leave us?
맞아.
Painting can't be a murder suspect.
아, 잘라고 누웠어요. 잘 자요. 잘 자요. 끝내지 못한 그림 계속하기. 자, 조사를 한번 해봅시다. 일단 이 여자가 제일 용의자 아니야? 오, 무섭게 생긴 거 봐.
Fellow.
말을 안 해.
Hey, sorry to barge in. I'm sure you're still in some distress.
We need to ask you a few questions, I'm afraid.
Did you witness the murder, Flora?
말을 안 해.
What do we do?
Not sure. She's entitled to her silence, I suppose.
For now.
어떻게 해야 되지? 보자. 첫 만남은 만났고 본인에 대해서 물어볼까?
Is there anything you'd like to tell us, Flora? I don't really know anything about you at all.
I think that's the way she likes it. We'll just have to ask other people about her.
Yeah, okay.
Freya was painting your portrait yesterday. Is that right?
Was this something you had planned with her ahead of time?
Was there something special about yesterday?
Did you talk to Freya at all while she was painting you?
She's not going to answer us, is she?
Nope. But at least we can say we tried.
진수도
Flora, you
없는데?
were definitely in the room at the time of the murder. Surely you must have seen something? Can you
말을
tell me
해줘요, 이
anything about what
아줌마야.
happened to Freya?
침묵을 지킬
She's
모양이군.
acting pretty suspicious if you ask me.
I don't know. Maybe she really doesn't know anything.
How is that possible?
일단 이 여자는 말을 안 하니까 발견할 게 없네요.
Supposedly, Freya was working on the painting when she was killed.
음.
Looks like she was still holding her paintbrush and palette when she fell.
Didn't even get a chance to clean her brush.
팔레트에는 여러 물감이 올려져 있다. 가장 큰 부분은 중앙의 검은색이다. 물감 붓에는 빨간 물감이 묻은 채 말라 있다. 팔레트를 한번 볼까요?
Supposedly, Freya
아예
was
한
Didn't even
세트구나.
get a chance to clean her brush.
Freya's painting supplies.
빨강. 한쪽으로 금이가 있다고? 왜지? 왜지? 그림을 한번 봐볼까?
There it is, the unfinished portrait.
So, what? Freya was killed?
Looks that way.
표행님 어서오세요. 표아잉아. 이 여자가 칼을 들고 있는 걸 그렸는데 난 이 사건 자체가 이해가 안 되는데?
Is that a
I
gramophone?
think so. Except it's got a tape deck instead of a turntable.
It's also got a big
그러게
crack
여기다
down
금이가
there.
있네? 그림은 되게 이쁘다.
What about the cassette tape?
Yeah, it sure is.
분홍색이라고? 투 프레야. 근데 금이 가 있으면 재생이 되나?
Do you think it still works?
The gramophone?
시도해보자.
We could give it a go.
틀어보자. 요거 재생.
It's piano music.
누군가가 프레한테 피아노 연주하는 걸 선물로 줬나 보네요. 이건 되나 재생이? 이 테이프는 딱히 증거로 쓸만한 건 없네요.
Freya's painting supplies.
Is that an egg? An
이거?
egg with burp.
It's also covered in a completely
자세히
ordinary.
보자.
I think it's a container for something.
Those gems look like they come off.
원석의 위치를 바꿔봐. 뒤에 단서를 보면 알을 회전해? 설마 이 그림대로 맞추라는 소리인가? 뭐지? 보라색과 네모? 요렇게인 것 같은데 이거는 초록색과 빨강. 빨강이랑 파랑. 이렇게 두 개 바뀌어야 된다. 파랑이랑 보라. 같은 색끼리 해야 되는 거 아니냐고? 뒤에랑 똑같이 하면 되는 거 아니야? 이렇게 하면 되는 거 아닌가?
Nope.
힌트 안
You
통해?
check the clue. I'm pretty sure it explains where to put each of the gems.
오케이. 힌트는 안 통해. 요렇게 생긴 거. 초록색, 노란색. 자, 차근차근 봐봅시다. 요렇게 생긴 게 됐고, 그 다음에 요렇게 길쭉하게 생긴 게 됐고, 그 다음에 보라 요렇게 된 게 됐고, 그 다음에 요렇게 된 거 됐고, 요렇게 길쭉하게 됐고, 된 거 같고, 이상하다. 다 된 거 같은데 왜 안 되지? 이상하다. 다 된 거 같은데. 이렇게인가? 아 맞네 요렇게가 요렇게네. 여기 두 개 바꿔야 되고. 아닌가?
No, that was it.
오
Nice
맞췄다.
work.
맞췄다. 던진 듯. 잘했죠?
Did it unlock?
뭐 있어?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, I'm not leaving without an empty egg as a clue, right?
뭐 텅 비었다고? 방금을 해제하면 알을 열 수 있다. 현재는 비어 있다. 좋아요. 또 증거가 될 만한 게 없을까요? 이건 어때?
We're at the top of the
I
tower.
think so. Why?
Doesn't matter. It's nothing. A little pot plant.
It's the only plant in the entire room. A bunch of old books, covered in dust now, but they look well read.
The whole room is a
Yeah,
strange.
there might be a reason for that. It's so dark.
Somehow the sunlight doesn't seem to.
여기 내려갈 문인가?
That's the only door.
It's
Ah.
also on the floor.
Sure is. Guessing it's not supposed to.
아니 탑의 꼭대기에서 이 죽은 여자가 이 여자를 모델로 그려주고 있다가 죽었다. 유일한 출입구는 이 문이고 이 여자 그림은 칼이 들고 있다. 한번 봐도 이 여자가 살인자 아니야? 그러면? 아니다가는 모르겠군요. 자, 살인 현장을 봤으니까 여길 가볼까요? 작업장. 아저씨 누구세요? 하이.
Sir? Can
Are
you hear me? I'm Private Detective Grimoire. I have some questions for you.
Grimoire. Good mysterious name. I'd rather like it. Felix Fellow at your beck and call.
Felix Fellow.
This is my colleague, Sally.
Yeah, that's a perfectly good name as well.
Thanks.
If you would, Mr. Fellow, we really need to ask you about the murder.
Well, I must say I'm rather jealous of you two.
악섭님 어서
Oh,
오세요.
yeah? Why is
아카소마.
that?
Out here solving mysteries, exploring, uncovering secret rooms, hidden treasures. That's what life is all about.
Secret rooms?
시크릿 룸.
Generally speaking, that sort of thing.
자, 본인에 대해서
So,
설명 좀.
Felix, what exactly do you do?
Is it not obvious? I'm an explorer. Explorer/treasure hunter. Yes, well, best in the world.
We're talking like curse statues, spike pits.
It's a little more sophisticated than that. But I've certainly seen my share of danger, if that's what you're asking.
And, if I may ask, when did you retire?
You listen here. I may be between ventures right now, but it's simply not in my nature to stay in one place for too long. I go wherever the winds of destiny take me.
Don't you live here with your wife and daughter?
Yes, well, the Fellow family has certain loyalties, and with Flora the way she is,
Nothing wrong with raising a family, Mr. Fellow.
don't misunderstand me. Fiona and Flora are my entire world. They are the greatest treasure of all.
Uh-huh.
이 아저씨는 왠지 범인이 아닐 것 같은데. 이 아저씨는 되게 뭔가 착해 보이는데.
Why on earth would you want to know about that?
The murder of Freya Fellow. The reason we're here?
Ah, right. Nasty business. Very unfortunate. I regret that I can't be of any help, but I wish you all the best in your investigation.
Hear that, Grimoire? We're done here. Let's go.
It's a simple question, Felix. I'm sure you're up to it.
There's not much to tell. Mostly, I was in my room by myself, working on Flora's Working on a project.
Your room is quite close to Flora's tower. You didn't hear anything unusual?
What qualifies as unusual?
What have you got?
말 안 해주는데? 진술.
It was dusk. A feeling lingered in the air. Malevolent? Perhaps. Uncertain as life itself.
Abridged version, please.
Right. Fine. I heard someone heading down the stairs, just outside my room. The
어허.
footsteps were calm, orderly, so I thought nothing of it. Shortly afterward, I heard a second set of footsteps, going the same way. This time I could tell just from the sound that something was wrong. So I looked out into the hallway. I got a glimpse of Poppy disappearing down the staircase to the floor below. Didn't know what to make of it, to be honest. I thought perhaps
Poppy?
she'd had a disagreement with Fitz, as I know those two are close. So I looked into his room, just in case, but it was empty, as was the garden beyond his window. Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her. We went into Flora's room. Poor Freya was laying on the floor. Fiona, Poppy, Fitz, and Pointer were there already. Flora too, of course.
희한하네.
Soon enough, everyone else made their excuses and left.
Including you?
Not I. I stayed. Flora needed me.
야, 진술이 재밌다. 그래? 자,
A little hand-painted statue.
How can you tell it's hand-painted?
Well, the paints are right there. Also, I mean, no offense, but you can just tell.
물감들이 이렇게 있다고? 이건 뭘까?
Nice. A real-
How do you know this?
Why else would it? Plus, there's a treasure.
자세히 봐보자.
What's the deal with
아,
that painting on the
I'm not
front?
sure. We should check that treasure map too.
트레저 맵. 아, 요거를 찾으면 되는 건가? X용산. X용산이면 이거 아니야? 나무도 있고. 이게 4I. 어? 용이 왼쪽 맞지? 용이 왼쪽이고. 그럼 4I에 N4 하나인가? 잠깐만 있어 봐봐. 잠깐만 있어 봐봐. 방향을 내가 지정을 해야 된다고? 일단 한번 해보자. 그러면은 자 영어 방향이니까 4IN 4I N
Did
Nothing.
you check the treasure map? What about that
잠깐만.
painting on the chest?
이게 아니라고? 아, 설마 거리도 생각을 해야 되나? 설마 거리도 생각을 해야 되나? 잠깐만, 여기 갈매기가 있잖아. 근데 여기는 갈매기가 없군. 자, X자 표시해서 갈매기가 보이고 가운데 나무가 보여야 돼. 가운데 나무가 보이고 갈매기도 보여야 돼. 갈매기랑 나무랑 같이 보이는 게 여기밖에 없네. 갈매기랑 나무랑 같이 보이는 건. 그러면은 여기가 H6 웨스트 H6 웨스트.
There we go.
오, 예스.
Perfect.
좋아.
But what was in the box?
More wooden models. These are a little different to the one on the desk.
빨간 물감이 있다고? 그냥 자기 가족, 자기랑 자기 부인이랑 자기 딸 한 거 아니야?
A map with a dot.
That's a very boring way to describe a treasure map. We already solved it.
아, 이거 풀었구나.
What is it?
He's an imp.
What does he do?
Well, if you tell too many lies, he...
Oh. It's a barometer.
I've never seen a barometer that wasn't broken. Shelf junk.
An old.
Probably cursed.
뭐야? 와, 뱅큐님 2달간 구독 감사합니다. 뱅아 큐아. 아, 2달이다, 뱅큐님. 그림.
A pencil drawing of a mountain on a moonlit night.
달밤에 산을 그리는
Mood.
연필아. 더 이상 이제 이 방에선 볼 게 없는 것 같죠?
Locked.
밑에 방 가볼까? 아, 여기가 죽은 여자의 방이구나. 불에하면은
It's a little glass box.
I think it's a vivarium.
사육장이라고?
Come again?
See the leaves and twigs in there?
나뭇잎과
Might have been for
장가지?
keeping insects.
곤충? 강아지도 키운 것
It's
같은데?
a cushion.
Yeah, but that doesn't illustrate.
쿠션. 이건 뭐야?
It's a little wooden box for paintbrushes.
Did the casual observe?
뭔데 이건?
They're not real
야,
paintbrushes. Looks like they're part of some kind
단물세
of
장치
lock
일부 같아
mechanism.
보인다고? 왜 나한테 이런 시련을 주지? 어떻게 하는 건데? 아, 능지가 처참하다. 이렇게인가? 요렇게? 맞네. 대박. 아니, 여기서 어떻게 하는 거야? 잠깐만. 포즈는 맞춘 것 같은데. 아, 이게 막대기 색깔이고 이게 붓 모양이구나. 이 색깔이고 그럼 여기 연두색이 있어야 되고 여기 파란색이 있어야 된다는 소리네. 이거는 붓 모양이 이렇게 생긴 거랑 파란색 요렇게구나. 그러면 요렇게고 연두면 요렇게 둘 중 하나일 것 같은데 요렇게인가 설마? 요렇게? 짜잔.
Nothing.
반응이 없다고?
Did you find a hint on it? Looks like a ripped up jigsaw puzzle.
아 요거 길고 짧은 거 표시인가? 이거는? 녹색이 짧다고? 그러니까 요거는 붓 막대기 색깔이고 첫 번째 줄은 두 번째 줄은 요 붓 모의 그거고 이건 색깔 이 길이 이렇게 보면 될 것 같은데 그러면 요렇게 될 수 있는 거 아니야? 요렇게도 될 수 있고 맞죠? 요렇게 하면은 분홍색 맞대기 그 다음에 됐고 여기 모양은 됐고 아 표형님 한숨 쉬고 있어요? 아이 모를 수도 있지. 이렇게 하면 길이가 길고 짧고 된 거 같고 된 거
I did
같은데?
it. What do I win?
아 됐다.
Not bad.
뭐가
What was
있어?
in the box?
상자에 뭐
Just a
있는데?
photograph. Well,
사진?
most of a photograph.
두 어린 소녀의 사진. 사이가 좋아 보이는군. 친구. 얘 누구지? 여기도 사진 있다.
That painting. is
Why would you want it looming over your bed like that?
Maybe Frey enjoyed the atmosphere it creates.
The atmosphere.
Hang on. There's a smaller version down by the floor.
It's a photograph.
이게 뭐더냐?
He's
고민형인가?
there.
Looks pretty
He's
depressed.
had a rough couple of days.
이거는
It's a fish.
I think it looks more like a whale.
그래.
Fine. It's a.
Could also be a shark.
쿠션.
It's Freya's bed. A little bit
It's
messy.
a perfectly healthy amount of messy.
Drawings taped up on the wall.
What's that one on the left?
Looks like two. One of them's holding a red rose.
PP. 위에는 뭐죠?
Drawings.
What's that one on?
Looks like one of them's holding a red rose.
아 여기 그냥 한 세트야? 오케이. 불빛?
Not the kind of lamp I
It's
choose.
cool. Looks like old mining equipment or something.
Freya's plants. They must not need sunlight. A lot of these paintings.
How can you tell if they're finished or?
Good point.
조명 한번
There's
봐볼까요?
no
I
natural
like
light.
it.
이 방은 이제 다 본 것 같죠? 퍼즐 한 개 풀었으니까. 자, 밑에 방 또 가봅시다. 아이고. 여자가 왜 죽었는지 모르겠네. 어제, 사람이다. 하이.
Curious. I would expect bacteria of that nature to thrive in these conditions.
Excuse me.
Taking all the environmental factors into account, there must be something I am still missing.
May I talk to you, miss?
She knows we're here. She just doesn't care.
I am a detective, and I need to talk.
Correction. You do not need to talk to me,
Oh no? How come?
because I am not a suspect. I am completely innocent of any and all crimes.
Thanks for letting me know.
Speaking of which, you have now been at Tangle Tower for over 23 minutes. Surely you have already reached a sturdy hypothesis.
A hypothesis about the murder?
Yeah, come on, Grimoire, hurry up.
My apologies. Unfortunately, protocol dictates I must at least meet all the suspects. And that includes you. So, could you tell me your name?
Fifi Fellow, microbiologist, inventor, innovator.
몰라 귀엽게 생겼다. 피피펠러.
You will need to be more specific. Oneself cannot be summarized in a single response without doing one a great disservice.
So true.
Well, first of all, you're a fellow. So does that make you the daughter of...
Correct. My father and mother are named Flora and Felix, but you need not question either of them. It will only waste valuable time. Neither of them are capable of murder.
Thanks for the tip.
어떻게 알아
Fifi,
그걸?
you said you were a micro... something or other?
Microbiologist. But it is an insignificant label. My studies cannot be categorized in any one recognized field.
What made you want to become a scientist in the first place?
I harbor an intrinsic fascination with the microscopic. I constructed my first one at age 10.
Constructed a microscope?
Correct.
And what's that thing on your head? Did you make that too?
My eyesight began to deteriorate when I turned 12. Not satisfied with the eyeglasses prescribed to me, I designed this custom lens instead. It automatically adjusts based on the surrounding light conditions.
Does it glow red when you get angry?
No, but that would be most amusing.
이 자기소개 한번 존나 화려했네.
What
어제
can
뭐
you tell me
했어?
about the murder?
What can you tell me about... Wait, that's what I'm supposed to ask you.
Yes, however, you were too slow.
You fancy yourself a detective too, Fifi?
I just need to know what happened.
Me too. So talk.
Fine. I knew ahead of time that Freya was going to be busy with her painting all day, so I had planned to spend the afternoon with Poppy. I was in the library all morning preparing the equipment for an experiment, only to find out that Poppy had made other plans and she was in fact planning to ignore me completely.
Oh.
So what did you do instead?
I locked myself in my room and cried.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Why?
I don't know, it just sounds kind of sad.
It is not unusual.
Oh. Good.
진술이나 들어봅시다.
I was in my room. The lights were off and the door was locked. Someone began banging on the door. I ignored it until the someone began shouting at me. I opened the door. Poppy came into my room. Her makeup was leaking. She told me Freya was dead. I did not believe it. I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face. She insisted that we go up to Flora's tower. We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs. When I saw Freya lying on the floor, I was completely and utterly devastated. Then, I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting. Poppy and I took the sample back downstairs to the library. We performed a test and found out that it was, in fact, blood.
You performed that scientific test immediately, even though you were feeling so upset?
Of course. Why would one affect the other?
그래. 훌륭한
That
과학자시군.
room should be unlocked now.
Can't wait.
나중에 나 여기 조사를 해야지.
It's an illustrated book
And
about
it's been left open. Looks like
or it was left open for us to find.
의도적으로.
ever so slightly unnerving.
보자. 책이다.
A book? Fundamental Entomology.
I guess somebody dropped it.
Books about ancient history, I think?
These books are ancient history. I think they'd crumble into dust if I tried to pick them up.
Good excuse.
Thanks.
이건 뭘까?
Is that a
Of sorts.
보자. 이쁘다. 뭐 하라고?
Hey, look at that. It's a model of Tangle Tower. There's the lake and those weird mountains. What are you thinking?
That would make an amazing souvenir.
Hey, look at that. It's a model of Tangle. What are you thinking?
That would make an amazing.
Hey, look at that. What are you thinking?
That would make an amazing.
이게 다야?
What's in those?
I'm not sure. Soil samples?
A chalkboard.
Is this a library or a
와우. 퍼즐은
Any
아니지?
idea what this means?
Not a clue.
A, B.
I'm
계세요.
not sure I learned anything from that. Sure, why not build a science
The
lab?
search for new, the archiving is downright poetic. Books about geography.
Skip.
뭔가 이 방에도 뭔가 있지 않을까? 뭐 적고 있나 볼까?
It's musty in here.
What exactly does that mean?
Must. You ask such
Nice.
It's musty in
What
here.
exactly-
Must. You ask such stupid.
Nice. Sure, why
The
not?
search for the archiving is downright poetic. It's musty.
What exactly?
Must. You ask.
Nice. Books about
The
birds.
shelves
Oh, so you're
I knew
a
this already.
books about
Well,
insects.
there's not a single book.
Huh. Sure, why
The
not?
search for the archive is downright poetic.
얘는 정말 아무 증거가 없나? 안녕하세요. 피피의 방이네. 아, 고민형 귀엽다.
You suspect. Don't think you can get out being questioned. Just
I'm innocent, I promise.
save it for the judge.
얘들 뭔 짓이야?
Fifi's got
What
something.
is all this?
이게 뭐야? 아까 뭔가 칠판에 있던 그림이랑 연관성이 있어 보이죠?
Arrows connecting all the different suspects.
They're not labeled though.
Yeah, they're completely meaningless.
이 난가?
Is that supposed to be me?
That's just the face you make when you're thinking. Does make you wonder though. When did Fifi draw?
I think that's supposed to be Felix.
Who is that?
No idea. Did you notice who isn't on here?
자기 자신?
Freya?
Mm-hmm. What's that big book on the desk?
Looks like something
Is
Fifi's.
it a clue?
I hope not. It's just a bunch of notes about her microbiome.
It's a magnifying
How
glass.
come you don't know?
Why? Because Should I start smoking a
You
pipe?
couldn't pull off a pipe.
It looks like a microscope.
Can I touch it?
아니 이건 또 뭐다냐?
I'm not sure this.
돋보기 4개를 수평으로 밀어서 올바른 위치에 잡아라. 이런 거 안 시키면 좋겠다. 어떻게 하는 거지? 뭐야 이거? 뭔데? 이렇게? 아닌가? 어떻게 하는 거지? 어허. 설마 이런 식으로 맞추는 건가? 열쇠 모양으로 맞추면 되는 거 아니야? 너무 확대가 많이 돼 있는데? 아닌데? 이렇게? 이거 얘인가? 아닌데? 얘인데? 이렇게 된 거 아니야? 이거.
That's the one.
야, 천재인가 보다 진짜로.
Sounds like it unlocked.
Yeah, it's built on. There's a book in here.
뭐 있는데? 책? 못 여나? 열 순 없구나.
That's a whole lot of books. Stuff Fifi's
You're
thrown.
gonna rummage through the trash?
No?
I give it 5 minutes before you're in there.
What's that big book?
Looks like something
Is it
Fifi.
a clue?
I hope not. It's just a bunch of notes about her microbiology.
Scientific formula, probably. I'll openly admit I have no idea.
I don't know what that drink is, but I bet it's 90.
I'd read you the. But there's.
That's
nothing.
even worse. I don't know what that drink is.
I'd read you the. But there's.
That's even worse.
What's that big book?
Looks like something.
Is it a
I
clue?
hope not. It's just a bunch of notes about her microbiome. Homemade posters. This one's about the Python.
I've not heard of that band. Are they any good? That's a whole lot of books. Crystal chandeliers.
I don't know. Plus, they're kind of dusty. Boxes of stuff. Boxes of stuff. Boxes of stuff. Homemade posters. This one's about the Python.
I've not heard of that band.
이 방은 다 뒤져본 것 같은데.
That's a whole lot of books.
자, 이제 포인터 가로 가볼까요? 가자. 아닌가? 석조관장. 누구 있다 또. 안녕하세요. 뭐야?
Wow. Nice cape.
You're not fellows or pointers. I'm sure I shall immediately regret asking. But who are you, and what is your business here?
I'm Sally, and this is my sidekick Grimoire.
A private detective, Grimoire.
Really? You're a detective. If this is a joke, it's not a good one.
Who are you, anyway?
Private Detective Hawkshaw.
Oh, nice. Hawkshaw's a cooler name than Grimoire. Maybe I'll become her sidekick.
You're not on the Freya Fellow case, too, are you?
That is classified information between myself and my client. Clearly, this is something which eludes you. But a real detective refrains from handing out informations to persons unknown.
Oh, right.
Now, if you would, I have work to do. It's not in my interest to discuss personal details.
Even if you're one of the suspects in a murder?
Very well. Let us make a small exception. Ask.
Oh, what are you doing here?
쟤?
I'm on a
모르겠어.
case at the behest of my client.
탐정인가 봐.
How long have you been at Tangle Tower?
133 hours. 5.5 days.
Who are you working for?
I am not at liberty to answer that. Now, I shall permit you one more question.
아,
What
왜 이렇게
crime are
How'd you get that scar? It's cool.
You really think so?
어제 뭐 한지나
As it
말해봐.
happens, I completed an examination of Flora's room on the morning before the murder. I've been investigating every single room at Tangle Tower. Hers is one of the last on my list.
Did you find anything unusual?
Nothing but a thin layer of dust and an atmosphere of somber melancholy.
Was Flora in there at the time?
She spent the duration of my search staring up at the sky, out the open window. Didn't say a word, although I'm told this is the expected behavior.
What did you do after that?
I spent the early evening searching the library. It took longer than it should have. Fiona leaves that room in a permanent state of disarray.
Fiona was in the library too?
I expected her to make an appearance, but she did not.
And you stayed in the library the rest of the day?
Not quite. Towards the early evening, my examination of the library was unexpectedly disrupted. Sounds of running, wailing, shouting from several floors above. I vacated the library, but before I could begin my ascent, Professor Pointer appeared. He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and begun up the fellow staircase. Our eyes met. He was breathless. Something had caused him great alarm. He told me to stay out of the way. I consented. I decided to return to my office in the stone square. As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me. She was clutching the banister of the Pointer staircase with an apprehensive manner. She wished to know where Professor Pointer had gone. I told her what had transpired. Then, she too crossed the hall and disappeared up the fellow staircase.
오케이.
More so than at any moment prior, I felt like quite an intruder in the house. I took my leave, out towards the stone square. The grounds were silent. There were no signs of human life. Even the greenhouse was without its typical inhabitant. I noted that he, too, must be entangled in whatever was transpiring in Fellow Tower. An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance. He spoke to me of what had occurred. His report was as clumsy and cumbersome as the man giving it.
Did he seem upset?
He was rattled. That much was clear. But sorrowful, mournful, I cannot say.
오케이. 하던 일을 해.
There's a metal plaque on the
Is
bench.
there a message in
I think there was at one point, but someone scratched it off.
Is that a
If
clock?
it is,
I'm guessing it doesn't tell.
so what does it do?
어허, 또 퍼즐이야? 아, 진짜 너무하네. 어떻게 하는 건? 이거 올바른 위치가 뭔데? 어떻게 알아? 올바른 위치가 뭐지? 뭐야 이것도? 어허. 바늘이 올바른 위치가 어디지? 아니 아니 올바른 위치가 어딜까요 도대체? 난 그걸 모르겠는데 일단 기본적으로 아 아, 아 이게 숫자구나. 3 6이나 9 12 9 아 그러면 이건 3회가 있는 게 맞고 이거는 6이 이건 9네 9 여기 12에 가 있는 게 맞고 이거 얘는 6 12 이렇게 너는 6 아 이거 숫자구나. 아씨 머리 좋다. 어떻게 하지 근데? 야 이거야 처음 보고 이거 숫자인지 어떻게 알겠어. 나 이거 알아낸 것만 해도 대단한 거 아니냐? 어떻게 해야 되냐 근데 9 3 아 바로 알았다고? 똑똑한데? 오케이 표형님 천재 인정. 근데 이거 맞물려 있어서 어떻게 돌려야 될지 모르겠네. 12 아니, 이게 어떻게 해야 되는 거야, 이거? 어, 일단 62, 9. 어, 돌리는 게 문제인데. 어? 어? 이런 젠장할. 3, 9, 10. 살려주세요, 하느님. 이게 아닌데? 허허. 어. 빨판은 비밀을 알았는데 어떻게 하지? 잠깐만. 이렇게 계속 하면은? 아닌데? 요렇게 한번 해봤는데? 씨. 요렇게 하면? 아이씨. 어허. 왜 어째서 이렇게 날 괴롭히나요, 선생님들. 고통 오지게 받네. 뭐지? 야,
I'll do this later.
짜증나.
Is that a...
If it is,
짜증나. 다시. 자, 곰곰이 생각을 해봅시다. 오케이. 게임 노래 너무 무섭다고요? 이 게임이 무섭습니다. 일단 이거 두 개가 맞아야 되는데. 맞췄다.
I got it.
what's in the box?
A little tool that I'm not actually sure what it is.
예스. 해냈다. 너무 힘들었고.
A pointless little
I
stuff.
don't know.
Wanna play hide and seek?
I could be persuaded. It's a big stone dais.
Biggest one I've ever seen. First one too.
It's a big stone dais.
Biggest one I've ever seen. First one too.
A giant globe.
AKA a greenhouse.
It's Tangle Tower. Or at least it's the mansion at the base of Tangle Tower.
Hi.
It's Tangle Tower. Or at least it's the mansion. These plants are giving...
I didn't know we were supposed to be smelling things. Looks like it might be. Grimoire, you go first.
A giant...
AKA a greenhouse.
이제 여기선 할 거 다 한 거 같죠? 바로 뭐야? 증거 정원에 가볼까요? 온실이다. 사람은 없고요.
Tools. Used by a gardener for gardening.
깜짝이야. 하이.
Sally, don't move. We're being watched.
Yeah, I see him. He's a little too big to hide in the bushes. Is anyone going to say anything? Or shall we just stand around staring at each other?
Right, sorry.
Sorry.
That's better. I'm Sally. And the guy hiding behind me is Detective Grimoire. Who are you?
Fitzfellow, the gardener.
Mm-hmm. And why are you so tall?
I don't know.
You work here as the gardener.
I don't get paid to do it. It's just my area of interest.
What's the deal with the plants? They're all kinda weird.
Right. Did you see the lake?
That giant green and purple lake surrounding the entire house? Yeah, I clocked it.
The color is just a byproduct.
Of what? Poison?
It's not poisonous. Not to you.
What's this got to do with the plants?
The water controls all life, just like anywhere else on the planet. Clouds form, rain falls. The water grows the plants, animals eat the plants. Anything you've perceived as an irregularity is simply a result of this hydrological cycle.
Could you say that again, but like condense it as if you were talking to a slightly stupid person?
Our lake water causes the unpredictable alteration of DNA, sometimes.
Alteration? Like mutation?
That'd be the official term. For us, it's normal. Just nature.
And you're the local expert on all this stuff?
No. I'm just the gardener.
어제
Also
뭐
my
했습니까?
greenhouse, watering and weeding.
Sounds exciting.
Was anyone else around?
Not at first. Penelope came in a little later. She likes looking at the flowers, I think.
Did you speak to each other?
A little, not too much. We both left the greenhouse in the early afternoon. I
Mhm.
went up to my room. Then I came back outside to weed the main gardens. Didn't see anyone else. After that, I went up to the garden outside my room.
And
Let me guess. Watering and weeding.
Right.
did anything happen to you yesterday, Fitz?
I was up in the rooftop garden. It was quiet.
Mhm.
And then it wasn't. I can't describe it. Could have been a scream, but it didn't sound human. We thought it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
We?
Poppy was with me. Did I not mention that? Flora's room was locked. That's normal. She usually locks it from the inside. I knocked on the door and shouted. Nobody responded. We became concerned.
You kicked the door down?
I did. Poppy and I went in. Freya was right there, laying on her back. Flora was there too, but I barely noticed her at first. Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too. Penelope arrived shortly after that, with Felix in tow. I thought that was odd. You don't normally see the two of them together. Felix took charge. There was nothing else I could do to help. I wanted to go back to my room, but I realized nobody had told Detective Hawkshaw anything. I found her pacing back and forth around the stone square.
여자였어?
When I approached her, she snapped at me. I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long. But when I told her about Freya, she fell silent.
Mhm.
Fitz's room is unlocked. It's up in the fellows.
This could be interesting.
A
Oh,
little
boy.
chart of... Actually, I have no idea what it's about.
다들 머리가 좋은가 봐.
Kind of reminds me of a periodic table.
What do you make of it?
Not a whole lot.
뭔지 감도 안 오는데?
Hanging baskets.
To you, maybe.
You're only 2 inches taller than
2 inches makes all the difference. This one's in a little pot.
Okay, that is definitely...
Looks like a gemstone, don't you think?
어허, 이게 증거라고? 뭐지?
That's a handsome beetle. Looks like he might have been
Is that fruit?
too shiny to be fruit. I think it's glowing a little.
Safe to eat, do you
I'm gonna say no. Tools used by a gardener for gardening. Tools used by a gardener for gardening. Hanging baskets.
To you, maybe.
You're only 2
2 inches makes all the difference.
왜 놓친 건 없겠지?
It's bigger in here than I.
아니 여기부터 가볼까요? 피치의 방. 어우 뭐가 이렇게 삭막해 방이.
It's a little handmade card. Someone's drawn a heart on the front. Inside it says, "To Fitz from PP."
호피랑 사귀나 보다. 에이 자식들.
That poor plant.
Looks pretty healthy.
Healthy, but sad. I think it would rather be outside.
An empty glass.
Looking at it is making me
Why?
I don't know.
보물 상자다.
Hello.
Not hidden very.
Doesn't need to be.
아,
It's a
또
combination
퍼즐이야?
lock, sort of.
아, 또 퍼즐이야. 아, 아, 이렇게. 근데 이걸로 뭘 알아내는 거지? 설마 첫 번째가 이거라는 소린가? 아닌가? 일단 이거고. 그 다음은 요거 물방울처럼 생긴 거랑 요거 아닌가? 길쭉한 거랑 요거
There we go.
예스 와우 굿
Anything in there?
Yeah, it's wrapped in a cloth. That's
뭔데,
kind of
뭔데?
nice.
PP 하트 FF 이 새끼 연애하고 있군. 있어. 야 증거 피치고 포피랑 사귀고 있나? 오케이 포피 오케이 알았어. 자식 커플이었군.
I thought we were halfway.
We are.
What's that thing by the handle?
어? 이게 또 뭔데? 와우 퍼즐이 또 아니 이걸 어떻게 알아? 뭐 증거를 주세요 저한테. 메꾸면 되나 이렇게? 자,
Nothing. Still.
Tiles have all got that same
Uh.
sun symbol.
Those moon symbols.
Maybe they're connected.
전혀 모르겠습니다. 계세요.
Let's come back once we.
아니 뭐,
There's someone.
Something. Oh, it's probably just a rock.
You sure?
자, 일로 가볼까요, 그럼? 근데 범인은 아예 감도 안 오는데? 이러면? 음악실. 응? 아가씨, 하이? 오이씨, 야.
Are you a ghost?
Sally! That's rude! Unless she is a ghost.
It may come as a disappointment, but I am alive.
Ah,
That makes you a suspect, I'm afraid.
I know.
what's your name?
My name is Poppy,
포피다. 얘가 포피다.
and a pianist.
We'll need to ask you a few questions about Freya.
I know.
Hey, you're pretty good.
All in the wrist. And 13 years of dedicated practice.
정원사랑 사귀죠?
I'm just me. There's nothing to know.
How are you related to the other pointers?
My father is Percival Pointer. The professor spends most of his time hidden away in his tower. Barely speaks to anyone these days. Especially not the fellows.
Do you get on with the fellows?
2 of them. Fifi and Freya are my closest friends. We all turned 19 last year.
아, 19살이야?
Leave Tangle Tower? I don't mean to be rude. It's just, if you're 19...
You don't have to answer that, Poppy.
It's a fair question. I'd like to move away. Definitely. Fifi, Freya, and I would often talk about it, argue about it. Freya wanted to leave, but Fifi... Things are more complicated for her.
What about now?
After what happened, I really don't want to stay here much longer. 3.5 hours of piano practice. Soon as I wake up. Same as always.
3.5. Does that not hurt your hands?
Sure.
And you do this in the music room?
No, I prefer to practice in my room. When I make mistakes, I like to make them in private.
What did you do after that?
I was supposed to meet Fifi in the library, but I totally forgot. When I finally got down there, she'd already gone. I checked her bedroom, but it was locked.
Was Fifi not in there?
No idea. She keeps her door locked either way. So I went back upstairs and out into the moonlight garden.
The what?
The little garden on the roof outside my room.
Was it just you up there?
No. Fitz came outside after a while. His room's on the other side. He's been teaching me about flowers.
So, did you talk to him?
Not really.
You ignored each other.
I didn't say that. Fitz and I were up in the moonlight garden most of the afternoon.
데이트다,
When I heard
데이트.
this sound. Lasted about
둘이
30 seconds.
데이트했네.
I've been trying to decide how to describe it, but I'm struggling.
Uh-huh.
It's like something drilling into a piece of metal, but different. Worse. I was pretty sure it was coming from Flora's tower. So we went up there to check. Her door was locked. Nobody was answering. I knew Freya and Flora weren't supposed to be in there. So I made Fitz kick down the door. I went inside. Freya was lying on the floor.
Flora was in the room too?
Yeah. I think she realized what had happened at the same moment I did. I didn't know what to do. So I ran downstairs to get Fifi. Her door was still locked, but I knocked and shouted at her. Eventually she let me in. The lights were off, but I could see she'd already been crying. I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry. First time I've ever seen her angry. I dragged her out into the hall. My father was there too, for some reason. The three of us
교수님
went
어떻게 한
back to
거지?
Flora's tower. Then Felix arrived. He had Penny with him. Fifi had this idea. She wanted to do some kind of scientific test. She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes. After she was done, she went back upstairs and I went back to my room.
That's it?
That's it.
교수님이 안 게 좀 수상한데 어떻게 알았지?
I wonder what's in there. Are they paper lanterns?
Whatever they are, I like a little parade of floating spirits.
Oh, whatever it is, it's...
While it is the music room, he's gotta practice.
What's with all the broken glass?
오케이.
Who plays the violin, I wonder?
It's pretty dusty. So I'm guessing nobody.
There's a faded
When
mural.
I was a kid, I never knew the difference between a mural and a mosaic.
You still don't know, do you?
No.
1 old,
Yep.
25 dry,
Mhm.
4.
Yeah.
Am I the only one seeing the problem?
문제가 보인다고? 무슨 문제가?
All right.
Spooky murder mansion?
Spooky murder mansion. Sheet music.
That's a lot of notes.
Probably why they're on the floor. It's one of those big pianos.
Don't touch it.
Why not?
Might be haunted.
Sheet music.
That's a lot of notes.
Probably why they're on the floor. Oh, whatever it is, it's
Well, it is gonna practice.
what's with all the broken glass.
우리 다인가? 뭐 이상 보이는 게 없으니까 여기 뭐지? 가자. 세 장. 어머. 안녕하세요.
Oh, just beautiful. What is it?
Huh?
Sort of a delicate jade, but with a little seafoam green, is that right?
Sorry?
Your hair, dear! Which shade do you use? It's lovely! And that shape, you're really pushing the envelope.
Oh, thanks. I do what I can to offset Grimoire's beige on brown ensemble.
Detectives don't need to be brightly colored. We prefer to blend into the background.
Oh, you're the detective? Delightful. Penny Pointer, pleasure.
Is that short for Penelope?
Officially, yes, but I never can be bothered with all 4 syllables of it. Penelope sounds a little ostentatious coming out of the mouth, don't you think?
Sure. Yeah.
20-something, Aquarius, love.
20대야? 설마?
Nearly all of my friends
오메.
are birds.
Travel. Where to?
Anywhere at all, as long as it has species worth studying. Ornithology, they call it. I call it the only thing I've ever been good at.
And have you studied the birds here at Tangle Tower?
But of course! Where else do you think I developed my love of the field? No matter where I go, I always find myself coming home to Tangle Tower.
Because of the birds.
Oh, no, because of him! Silly to admit, but I suppose I can't bear for us to be apart.
Who are you talking about?
Oh, don't you know? My fiancé, dear Fitz. He's not really the traveling type, you see.
Fitzfellow.
The very one.
You're engaged to a member of the Fellow family? That's interesting.
I'm not especially interested in whatever tedious feuding goes on between our 2 families. Fitz and I find it much easier to stay out of it altogether.
뭐야, 얘가 피치랑 사귀는 거야?
I awoke early and headed down into the greenhouse to see Fitz. He's always there. Crack of dawn, every morning like clockwork.
How come?
It's where he's happiest. That and he has a great deal of work to do every day. Watering, pruning, mulching, whatever that is.
Do you help him with the work in the greenhouse?
Oh, no. I wouldn't dream of it. I'd probably break something.
So, you stayed with Fitz the whole day?
No. In the early afternoon, he went back inside. Rather suddenly, as it happens.
Did he say why?
He didn't. Probably just a touch of heat stroke, the poor dear. He's more delicate than you'd think.
What did you do after that?
Let's see. I returned to the aviary to feed my birds.
And how many birds are you responsible for?
Officially 4, but in truth it's more like 400.
Can they not feed themselves?
Of course, and they often do. But I think they just like the company. As do I. Sometime in the evening, I left the aviary and headed back towards my room. But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. He was muttering something. Seemed a bit upset, the poor dear. I followed him down, but the grand hall was empty by the time I got there. Empty aside from Detective Hawkshaw, who was loitering over by the library. I don't know what it was, but she looked a little lost. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the Fellow Tower. I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path. For some reason, he was coming out of Fitz's bedroom. He looked rather lost, too. I told him I was looking for Uncle. He suggested we look up in Flora's tower room. We could see from the hallway. The door was off its hinges. I knew then something was terribly wrong. A moment later, we were gazing down.
허허.
Uncle Pointer was there. Fitz, too. Standing over in the corner with Fifi and Poppy.
What about Flora?
Of course, silent as ever. Uncle suggested we should leave. Give the others some space, you know. So he and I both returned to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
We can get into Penny's room now.
Now, like, right now?
여자 이상한데?
My little writing desk.
There's nothing written in the book.
My little writing desk.
There's nothing written in the book.
Bird diagrams.
They're beautiful. Someone really knows. I don't like mirrors.
How do you get your hair so symmetrical without using
I do by weight. I can feel if one side is heavier than the other.
bird diagrams?
They're beautiful. Someone really knows. Check out that butterfly.
Looks evil.
Wow, judgmental.
And a special.
And it's home to 3 especially fancy birds.
아니야 말 걸려는 거 아니었는데.
I feel like I'm standing in a giant bird cage.
They're bird cages, but the birds are coming
Is
in.
that a metaphor?
Oh, it totally is.
What's those little windows?
I think they're there for draining.
Oh. I feel like I'm standing in a giant bird cage. A rather magnificent bush.
There's a letter P carved into the side.
증거는 없어 보이니까 몇 방부터 가볼까요? 페니의 방. 여기 페니 방이구나. 뭐야 이 사람 동상은.
Ever get the feeling you're
The
being...
mannequins don't have eyes.
That's not a comfort. That's some
There's
flower.
something weird about it. It just feels out of place.
어?
Anything in there?
Bed sheets.
That's not even remotely suspicious.
It's a birdhouse.
Are those real?
뭐야 이건?
Nope. They're wooden.
They're using up all the perches. What if a real bird wanted to use it?
7마리 새의 위치를 바꾸라고? 아휴, 왜 이렇게 뜬금없어 퍼즐이 다. 어허, 내가 하나는 알겠군. 이렇게인가? 맞는 거 아니야?
That's the one.
야, 이건 쉽다. 뭐 있어? Now I will get her? 뭔 소리야 이건?
A little tea set.
One of the cups has tea in it.
What's in the other one?
Birdseed.
음,
A little bedtime reading.
Let's see. Romance novels, detective novels. And
What?
this one appears to be both.
Nice.
That might be the most. Looks like nature invited. Rude.
We already solved it. Penny's books, mostly novels. Penny's books, mostly novels.
이게 단 거 같은데? 포피? 포피방?
There's a name for this kind. You know, sheet music.
It's only a few notes.
Yeah, It's been framed, though. Must be important for some reason. Oh, thank God. Wouldn't want it to be dark in here.
뭐야
It's a
이건?
metronome for keeping.
It's ticking. Is it a bomb?
It's supposed to
Not
be.
sure what those symbols are, though.
버튼에 있어서 뭐 어떻게 하... 어? 이게 아닌데? 어? 됐다. 됐다.
That's done it.
야, 뽀록이다 이건.
What happened?
Little hatch on.
Anything in there?
Mm-hmm. Part. of a
사진?
photograph.
누구야 이건? 옛날에 이랬던 건가? 왜 지어졌지?
There's something about that pink cassette tape.
Uh-huh.
Something suspicious.
Let's ask Poppy about it.
나중에.
Various handmade posters.
What do you think those symbols?
Hopefully, nothing. Anything in the drawers?
Nothing you need to know about.
Just a bunch of clothes. Nothing weird about that.
To you.
Anything in the wardrobe?
Dresses mostly. Never realized there are so many shades of black.
Empty.
장미?
A single. How very.
Yeah, weird.
Various handmade.
What do you think those symbols?
Hopefully, nothing. That.
I thought vampires
This
lived
is a vampire who needs firm support for their lower back.
It's an octopus.
No, it has 6 legs. Not. Don't say it.
Sextopus.
A big glass door leads out into a garden.
There's a little mechanism.
어? 아. 딱딱딱딱. 아, 이거 이렇게 하는 거였구나. 자, 생각을 해보자. 발은 이렇게 번갈아 가면서 있었어. 빙고.
Must be it. And the door.
I still feel like we made some sort of.
왜?
Didn't
We did, but the door's still locked.
이게 아니야? 맞춘 건데? 딱딱딱딱. 너 딱 기다려. 여기.
It's locked.
I thought we were.
We are.
What's that thing by the hand?
이거 딱딱딱딱. 요렇게. 야, 내려와. 이거.
It made a noise.
I guess that was right. Finally.
Whatever's on the other side.
나가보자. 뭐 있는지 보자. 어허, 뭐가 많네?
Giant stone frog.
Nah, he's got his tongue out like he's catching snowflakes.
어허.
Except those aren't snowflakes. They're feathers.
깃털? 깃털이 의미가 있나?
It's another little statue, doing a really bad job of
He's
hiding.
playing a lute this time.
He's also wearing.
Well, they're not part of it, and they're not headphones. They're earmuffs.
뭐지?
It's a rose bush, growing on a little patch of bluish soil. Apart from a couple of loose petals on one
The
side.
roses are bright.
Aren't roses
Exactly. That's one big
or
dragon.
one very small dragon?
More egg statues.
I don't get it. Why?
Well, either they have some, or the sculptor was just really lazy.
What do you mean?
An egg has got to be the easiest shape to make.
The door into Poppy's.
So only Poppy and Fitz can get into the garden.
I guess so.
허허, 알다가도 모르겠네. 근데 여기는 딱히 증거라고 할 만한 게 없는데?
It's so relaxed. I might just stay here.
How shall I do?
That'd be great.
일단 마지막 한 방까지 가보죠. 이 사람이 제일 수상해.
There's something kind of. I just expected a bit
Oh,
more.
does it not compare to all the other astronomy towers?
저기요, 설명 좀.
Shh, listen. Do you hear them? The stars. They're whispering. So quiet, and yet so loud.
What are they whispering about? Are they spreading rumors about us?
I shouldn't think they concern themselves with such insignificance. We are but specks of dust, you and I.
Mm-hmm. Could this speck of dust start by telling me his name?
You find yourself standing in the astronomy tower of one Professor Percival Pointer.
Seems like this tower belongs to the Pointers, and the other one belongs to the Fellows.
Well observed, my dear. Tangle Tower is something of a duality as it happens. Meaningless boundaries, really. They exist only in our minds.
Helpful.
Me? Not much to say. Strictly speaking, I'm the current head of the Pointer family. And of course, father to my precious Poppy.
And a professional astronomer?
Oh no, that's just a little hobby. I mean, yes, I've studied the stars for over 35 years, published 17 books.
Just a little hobby.
Sounds like you're quite well known. You must bring in a good amount of money.
Oh dear me, no. My field of research has never yielded any kind of stable financial return, nor would I expect it to. I am nothing but a humble interpreter for the cosmos, working to translate its message so that I may share it with the world.
Cool. Tell the Cosmos I say hi.
The day began as any other, with blissful, unremarkable routine. I took my usual morning walk around the gardens. Fresh air does wonders for the mind.
Did you see anyone else?
Penelope and Fitz were in the greenhouse together. I didn't bother them, of course. I sat for a while besides the pond in the garden. It's a favorite spot of mine. Eventually, I returned to my tower and buried myself in my studies for the afternoon.
Did you use your telescope yesterday?
Once the stars began to appear, naturally.
For how long?
I can't say. I've been known to lose hours at my telescope.
Did you see anything?
No actual discoveries, if that's what you mean.
So you were all alone up in the astronomy tower. Must have been a while before you found out what had happened to Freya.
Quite. Normally, I would be the last to find out about such a thing. But a curious tug of fate led me towards the fellow tower later that evening. I was
어떻게
at
한
my
거야?
telescope for the majority of the evening, but at one point I returned to my desk to look something up in a reference book. I couldn't find the book I wanted, so I figured Fiona must have borrowed it. I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall. I
아,
spotted
그래서
Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library. She looked impatient and slightly frustrated.
Same as ever then?
Quite. I passed her by and went upstairs to Fiona's room. The door was locked, but I could hear shouting coming from inside. I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter. I had no desire to invade their privacy by eavesdropping, so I waited for them to finish and come out into the hall. Before I could ask about the book, Poppy grabbed my hand and took me upstairs along with Fiona. It was apparent that both of them had already been crying about something. We went up to Flora's tower. Freya was laying on her back, right in the middle of the room. Flora and Fitz were already there. They both looked stoic as ever. Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did, and then Fiona went downstairs with Poppy for some reason. I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
Why did you leave so quickly? Wasn't there anything you could have done to help?
Don't take this the wrong way, but the whole ordeal is fellow family business. I'm quite sure they don't need me getting in the way at a time like that.
어허.
That's all the statements.
Let's go over them all.
You know, I've always.
A mechanical solar.
I would look at it.
어이씨고 이것도 퍼즐이야?
Earth in the middle. How old is this thing?
아 누가 범인이지? 뭔가 이상한데 진술들이 다 조금씩 뭔가 석연찮은데. 뭐야 이건? 오케이. 요건 여기 아닌데? 얘인가? 아닌데? 어허. 어떻게 하는 거야 이거? 아 그림자가 딱 맞게. 아 이해했어. 이거 아닌데? 이건가? 오케이. 천재인가 보다 나 진짜로. 와.
Hey, not bad. Did you hear that?
There's a little hatch underneath.
A bunch of paper. Looks like
뭐야?
someone's research.
어우야. 딱정벌레? 오케이 확인. 아.
A picture frame.
With no picture.
It's a chart of the Which planet are you from? It's tidier than the notebook is untouched.
So, even the most well-used notebooks start off blank.
It's tidier than the notebook.
So, even the most well-used notebooks.
A bell jar.
What do people normally keep in
Other
bell?
than bells, you mean? Trinkets.
They're clearly gizmos.
A spyglass to the stars.
They're in very good condition.
Trinkets.
They're clearly gizmos.
It's too cloudy to see.
It's also daytime. What is it?
It's a large.
You're not wrong. There's something kind. I just expected.
Does it not compare to all the every astronomy
I
tell?
want to try.
어? 이거 범인을 본 거 아니야?
You can see right into.
Not by
I
accident.
can see Flora, but she's not looking this way. Behind her is the back side of the easel holding Freya's. I can't really see anything behind it. Not from this angle. It's the tower opposite this. I can just about see the ground.
It's that little
Don't you
plant.
think it would fall
Maybe
off?
it's glued down.
I can see the doorway. The door itself is on the floor. Not. Hold
어허.
on. I think we might have missed.
뭐 놓친 거 같다고? 뭘까?
You can see right.
Not by
I can
accident.
see Flora. Behind her is the back. Can't really see anything.
Is that a window?
I
Is
think.
there another room above
어?
floor?
We should check that next time we're over there.
방에 안에 더 있는 거야? 세상에.
It's the tower opposite this one. Isn't this supposed to be? I'm pretty sure you
I
need to.
can't move it. I think this is just how it's set up.
감시하고 있었던 것 같은데 이 아저씨. 야 비밀의 방 가봐. 비밀의 방. 얼른. 다락방. 오야. 예스. 비밀의 방. 예스.
It's a jar. The head screws off.
Huh.
다음 보물상자.
Just dusty junk.
아니야? 이건
What's in that little box? I bet it's bones. A skull, at least.
You know, maybe I won't open it.
왜?
It's a statue standing up straight, like a man.
You know, there's a name for that.
I know.
It's not quite as dusty as everything else up here. Also, it's not a statue. It's stuffed.
What is that?
I'm not sure.
Looks like it might attach to something.
오 뭔가 찾았다. 굿. 어허 밧줄이 있다고?
Nothing catching my attention.
Sorry, is this
Kinda.
just dusty junk? Just dusty junk.
Nothing catching my attention.
Sorry, is this?
Kinda.
아 증거를 한번 생각해 볼까요? 이게 다 증거긴 한데 이게 의미가 있나? 이게 의미가 다 있나? 아... 아하... 보니까 그거 어? 그래 여기 이상했어. 이거
I'm still not sure.
Should we take another look?
아직 풀 수가 없다고?
Let's come
이건 뭔데? 아이 마지막이구나. 그럼 너 야 대화 좀 하자. 너 혐의점이 좀 있는 것 같아. 너 혐의점이 뭘까?
I need to confirm something with you, Poppy.
Firm away.
What can you tell us about this cassette tape? Is it yours?
It belongs to Freya. She liked to have music playing while she was painting, you know.
And do you know what kind of music is on this tape?
No idea. Acid jazz?
It's piano music. Sounds an awful lot like your music, to be honest.
Sure it doesn't belong to you?
Why are we even talking about this? Cassette tapes have been redundant for a good few years now.
The tape was found at the crime scene. It was in the gramophone.
It's not mine.
Why not?
Not my color.
거짓말하지 마. 너 사진을 봤어 내가.
You used to like these colors.
Ridiculous.
We need a clue to compare with the cassette tape. Something that proves Poppy used to like these colors.
사진. 이거.
Let's take a closer look at this.
이거를 호피가 사용 분홍색 카스테이프랑 이거랑
The pink cassette tape found at the crime scene matches the pink cassette player that was found in Poppy's room. Almost.
못 가. 이거다.
The pink cassette tape found at
아닌가?
the crime scene matches the pink cassette player used by Fifi in this old photo. Almost.
아니다 이거. 이거.
The pink cassette tape found at the crime scene matches the pink cassette player used by Poppy in this old photo.
대답해 보시지.
Not me.
Yeah, it is. I'll prove it.
이거는 사진. 이거. 빙고.
You look a little different, but Fifi and Freya are pretty recognizable. It's clearly a photo of you with your two best friends. Why'd you tear it up and then hide it?
I think the answer is pretty straightforward.
이거.
Poppy hates Fifi and Freya now.
You sure about that?
Not entirely.
아니야?
I think the answer is pretty straightforward.
이거.
Poppy doesn't want to look like that anymore.
That's it. Makes this whole thing seem kind of irrelevant.
Maybe. It depends on the reason.
The reason she doesn't want to look like that anymore?
passage of time is
Uh-huh.
a powerful thing.
Hold on. This means that pink cassette tape does belong to you, Poppy.
It used to. I recorded some piano music onto it and gave it to Freya as a gift years ago.
Freya could have easily been listening to this tape at the exact moment she was killed. There's gotta be a connection between the tape, the gramophone, and the murder.
There's one other thing I want to know. How did it get that crack down the middle?
I have no idea.
이게 다야? 나 그다음 이 아저씨 제일 의심스러워. 아저씨, 대화 좀 합시다. 어? 안 되네. 잠겨 있네. 내가 놓친 게 있나? 그럼? 이게 아닌데 그럼. 내가 놓친 게 뭘까요?
Half the room is a
I don't know if you can call it. It's more like a sudden absence of wall.
내가 놓친 게 있다는 소린데. 여기서 내가 못 찾았었지? 어째고?
It's musty.
What exactly is
Musk, you asked such
nice.
stupid.
뭔가 숨겨져 있는 게 없으려나?
It's glass.
Total
I am not.
포인터 교수와? 우리 할 대화가 남아있나? 대화는 다 했는데? 무슨 대화를 더 해야 될까요? 이 아저씨랑.
I was at my telescope for the majority. But at one I left my spot. She looked
Same
in
as ever.
quiet. The door. I reckon I had no. Before I could.
아닌데? 이거 다 대화했는데? 여기 이 방이 뭔가 잠깐만.
That bed. It's like
Does it feel good?
No, you're
It's
right.
not coming from the bed.
이 방에 뭔가 갈 수 있는 데가 있지 않을까?
It's a magnifying
How come you don't?
Why? Should I start
You
smoking?
couldn't pull off a pipe.
Nice room.
It's a mess. But yeah.
어허. 설마?
That's a whole lot of.
아닌데?
It's a
이게
mess. But yeah.
이게 지금 암만 생각해도 여기가 텅 비어 있다는 게 말이 안 되거든요. 뭔가 여기를 갈 수 있는 증거가 있는 것 같은데 설마?
It's a.
There are weeds in
It's an
there.
aquarium.
Could be. Any more. A door.
Oh, what's behind
A
it?
room.
It's not locked. Books about
The
birds.
shelves are.
Oh, so
You
you're
knew
a.
this already.
Books about
The
birds.
shelves are.
Oh, so
You knew
you're.
this already. It's musty. in
What
here.
exactly does that?
Must. You ask such
Nice. Is that?
of sorts. Hey, look at that. It's a model of. What are you thinking?
That would make an amazing.
Hey, look it's at a model of. What are you thinking?
That would make an amazing.
뭔가 이유가 다 있을 텐데. 뭘까?
It's musty.
What exactly does that?
Must. You ask such stupid.
Nice.
일단은 더 이상 할 수 있는 게 없으니까 여기 가볼까요? 대화를 해보자 우리.
That's all the statements collected. Let's run through them all to see if anything doesn't add up.
To see
Okay.
if anyone's been lying.
That too.
오케이. 뭐야?
Fitz and I were up in the moonlight garden most of the afternoon. Then I heard this sound. Lasted about 3 seconds.
We thought it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
Her door was locked. Nobody was answering. So I made Fitz kick down the door.
Poppy and I went in. Freya was right there, laying on her back.
I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall.
But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs.
I vacated the library, but before I could begin my ascent, Professor Pointer appeared.
I didn't know what to do. So I ran downstairs to get Fifi.
I heard someone heading down the stairs. They're just outside my room.
Someone began banging on the door. I ignored it until the someone began shouting at me.
Eventually, she let me in.
I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library.
He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and begun up the fellow staircase. As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me.
I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower.
I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry.
I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face.
I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter.
We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs.
I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path.
Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her.
Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too.
Felix and Kenny arrived shortly after we did.
A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya.
Then I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting.
She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes.
I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower. I wanted to go back to my room, but I realized nobody had told Detective Hawkshaw anything.
An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance.
I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long. But when I told her about Freya, she fell silent.
That's disappointing.
What is?
All the statements line up with each other.
They don't
그러니까
just line up. Some of them even seem to specifically confirm each other.
뭐 해야 되지 내가? 제가 뭘 해야 될까요? 오호. 자, 일단 오늘은 용의자를 다 만나봤으니까 여기까지 하는 걸로 하겠습니다. 도통 모르겠네. 짜잔.